Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm back again with another amazing special guest. April makes some, Pisces Moon Goddess makes some
Hold
noise.
up, hold up. It still says off air.
No, it says live to me. Mine
What?
says live.
Oh, we're live now. I see the yellow button. Hey.
So we've been trying to do this chart for like how long now?
Like 2 weeks?
2 weeks now. Is this the third? This is going on the third week.
Yeah, pretty
Yes.
much.
Doing J-Lo's chart. Every time we try to do it, either the computer would fuck up or she'd be busy or I'd have something pop up. But, like always, we get it done. We're here and we're about to jump into J-Lo's chart. We're going to do it. Well, I think Jennifer is a Leo rising. Pisces Moon Goddess thinks she's in the gray area with this.
Of course, typical seventh house fashion. Undecided. Yeah, it could be that. But
All
I'm
right,
leaning towards Libra.
so Jennifer was I'm doing it from the Leo rising perspective, and she's also doing it from that perspective, also with the Libra ascendant added tidbits here and there. So Jennifer was born July 26, 1969, at, according to the Leo rising perspective, at 5:49 a.m. in the Bronx. Never forget that.
South Bronx.
She has a Leo rising with a Scorpio moon, an Aries MC with her Sun and Mercury in Leo conjunct her rising, Uranus in Libra, Jupiter in Libra, Venus in Cancer, and Saturn in Taurus, and Mars in Sagittarius. Yeah.
Okay, so from my perspective, I have her. Where'd the chart go? I have her as a Libra ascendant, and the planetary positions are still the same, except for the Libra ascendant chart is in the afternoon, about 1 o'clock p.m. And I'm thinking that she could possibly have been born a little bit later, quite possibly, and have a Sagittarius moon. Um, but yeah, the Scorpio moon thing, it seems to fit as well. So that's what I have, and I'm still trying to pull it up.
All right, so we're gonna try to. Well, what I always do in these celebrity videos is just try to find out why they're so creative or famous. For her Scorpio moon, I put, she has great intuition. That gives her foresight. Also, Scorpio, in my opinion, is one of the creative moons. You'll see a lot of famous creative people with their moon in Scorpio, like Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, um, Jennifer Lopez, Beyonce. All of these powerful women in the industry right now all have their moon in Scorpio. So I think it's a very creative moon. But when it comes to Jennifer, I think that power and that intensity allows her to throw herself into her characters when she's acting, whether or not she's portraying someone real or fantasy. She's able to conjure up those emotions inside of her and act them out. Also, from the Leo rising perspective, it puts her moon in the fifth house. So I think that is an added bonus. When it comes to her as being an actress. She puts a lot of passion into what she does, in emotional intensity and just passion, all behind what she does. It's a great combo. What do you got over there?
So I have her moon as being in late degree Scorpio in the second house and conjunct Neptune. So what was that? I surely hope people didn't see that anyway. Anyway, so the second house is a house that corresponds with the sign of Taurus, and Taurus rules the throat, the voice. Also, it's another sign that rules the arts, and Jennifer is very much into all of the arts. She's multi-talented in the arts. She dances, she sings, she acts.
Well, her
Um,
moon's in the fifth
and
house, so.
anyways, it's my time, okay?
My bad,
Okay.
my bad.
Calm your Leo midhaven down and let
Hey,
mine.
hey, hey, hey. I thought you would connect because your moon's in the fifth house, so I was.
No, I surely do, but you know, that's kind of where the debate is because the fifth house corresponds with the sign of Leo. She already has a lot of Leo in her chart. You know, she has her sun, Mercury in Leo. If her speculative ascendant is in Leo too, that's already a lot of Leo. So, you know, moon in the fifth house adds to the Leo qualities, but even if her ascendant was in Libra, she would still have her sun and Mercury in Leo. So that's where it's kind of, you know, the characteristics can still be there.
Mm-hmm.
But with the moon being in the second house, you know, that's where a love of music and art and everything can come in. And the moon conjunct Neptune. You know, the moon conjunct Neptune. Neptune rules the sign of Pisces, and it rules like another love of the arts and poetry and being dreamy and romantic. She is such a romantic person. She says it all the time. She's in love with being in love, and I know that's a Leo quality too. But that kind of divine love that's like, oh, so romantic and dreamy, you know, that's Neptune. She has that conjunct her moon, which rules the mind. So you know, that's a big part of her. And also music. She always says music has been such a big part of her life. And music just, like, rules her life, you know, whether she's, even if she's in movies and acting and everything. She says music and dancing is like her roots. You know, that's her heart, her soul, her spirit right there. So that's Neptune conjunct her moon. I placed it in the second house. One thing that kind of made it make sense to me, and I know this might be a little silly because it's just like one little detail, but I watched a clip of her in her closet. Her closet is like probably a couple bedrooms, but but her closet, and she was pulling out stuff that she had for years. Like, she had this pair of shoes, and she's like, I've had these shoes for 15 years. I can't let them go. I love these shoes. And I'm like, hey, I'm a Taurus. I can relate to that second house energy of holding on to personal items because they hold some type of memorable value, some type of emotional value to her. She still has the dress, you know, the famous dress she wore at, I believe it was the MTV Awards.
Versace.
Yeah, the Versace.
Dress.
Oh, pardon me. I'm sorry. Anyway, the Versace dress she had. The green one, you know, the famous one. She still has it. She has it on a mannequin. I saw an interview with her back then after she wore the dress. She's like, I might just donate it to charity or something, or auction it off for charity. Hell no. I saw an interview with her years later, like more recent years. She still has a dress on a mannequin, saved. So that's what kind of made me also feel like the Libra ascendant could be valid because of that second house, like holding on to memories, holding on to, and she says she gets out of relationships kicking and screaming, like she doesn't want to let go. So, you know, that's why the second house moon could make sense for her.
Okay, you make a point. Make a point. Now, on to her, well, you know, we'll go back around and jump around, but her relationships. Yeah, she's always in one and about to leave one. Of course, Venus is, you know, the planet of love and how we show love. Her Venus is in Gemini, and, you know, I guess she does have relationship issues, but her Venus, the only aspects her Venus receives are squares. She has a square from Pluto, and she has a semi-square from her Mercury. Now, that square from Pluto, you know, when she falls in love, everything is just really over-intensified. Added with her moon, possibly, you know, being in Scorpio, it just makes her really hungry for more love that people can't give. And, you know, so it's like she's never really content when she's in a relationship. Venus and Gemini, you know, she loves love. She loves talking about love. So wherever Gemini is in your chart, her Venus is in Gemini. So she just likes to talk about it. That semi-square just makes her like really hard-working and also a bit aggressive when it comes to like pursuing people in love. Like if you see her with other dudes, she looks like really aggressive. Like she wants to be on top.
Oh, so we're going there?
No, I mean not there, but she just seems really aggressive when it comes to like her love life with men. Like, it's like a very headstrong woman, I guess.
Right. Yeah. And that's what kind of made me feel like her Venus and Gemini could be in the eighth house, as it would be if she were a Libra ascendant. Because when she loves hard. Like, she drops everything for to be with this man. And I did see, whenever we do these celebrity charts, I watch so many interviews to get a feel for that person's real personality, not just reading stuff. So I saw when she was dating P. Diddley back in the day.
P.
Um,
Diddley.
yeah, Puppy Diddley, Diddley
Sean
Diddley.
John, whatever the fuck he goes by now.
Yeah, his ugly butt. She was dating him back in the day, and she was on the phone with him while she was getting her hair did. And I heard her conversation with him. It was a little bit like, oh, so where you at? Oh, where am I? Oh, I'm here. Well, what are you doing? How come you can't call me? It was kind of a conversation like that. And I know Diddy is a Scorpio sun. So if she has a Scorpio moon too, and if her Venus was like in the eighth house also, that could also bring out like a more aggressive, like possessive side to her in relationships. And I did read some accounts from her and her family and everything, and yeah, they said when she's in love, she just like goes for it. Like, she's all consumed by love and that relationship. And in the eighth house, that's like such a deep energy there, to where you can't let go. You don't want to let go of that person. You want to latch on and just like go for it in love and just be really, really passionate. So that's why her Venus in the eighth makes sense to me. As far as Venus being in Gemini, yeah, she does love to keep things fresh, new, and exciting in relationships. She has said that herself. She doesn't like to let the fire die out. That's probably a Leo thing too. Everything has to still stay romantic, and she says guys can start slacking after a while when it comes to the romance department, and she likes to just keep things, spicy and revved up and just go, go, go. So, yeah, that's Venus and Gemini. Gemini. Okay. But anyway, yeah. So also Venus and Gemini. Gemini likes variety. They get bored easily. And they like to kind of, that stupid thing. They have a finger in every pie. They kind of try this, try that, try this, try that. They're very curious about things that are different and new. So, if you notice her dating patterns, she's dated men of several different nationalities. And
Ages.
she said ages, nationalities. She likes variety. So, yeah, that's kind of where Venus and Gemini comes into play too. And that one relationship is barely ending or has barely ended, and then she's into another. Like, Gemini just kind of switches to the next thing. But
That could
I
also
think,
be the 11th house Venus with her Leo rising. Because it's an air house, the house of Aquarius. So both have, that constant changing, always evolving, never staying the same energies.
yeah, that could definitely make sense. And also because the guys that she's dated, she says she doesn't go for looks. And I can't see Aquarian type of love really being based on looks. That's kind of a more superficial thing, and Aquarians are more like, Aquarius 11th
Whatever.
house. It's kind of like, let's all love each other and get along no matter where we come from, what race, what background. So that could also that could make sense too, Venus being in Gemini in the 11th. These quirky guys that are like,
She remains friends with them.
yeah, and they were friends. She's always says the most important thing with her in a relationship is a man has to be able to make her laugh. I have read that over and over again. I have seen her say it in interviews over and over again. They have to make her laugh. And Gemini is very mercurial, and they crave entertainment. They get bored easily.
And
And
she's a
Leo,
Leo, too.
yeah, Leo too. Her Mercury and Leo, like, she has to be entertained. So a guy has to make her laugh. So that's kind of touching on the love subject a little bit, love history.
Now, the main reason, well, one of the main reasons I really lean towards Jennifer being a Leo rising, because that would put her Saturn in the 10th house. Her Saturn is in Taurus. So, you know, that's Saturn's home in the 10th house. You know, she's been in this business for about 30 years. She started as a dancer, then went to acting. You know, she slowly built her career, and now she's this phenomenal star. She didn't shoot to stardom. You know, she really had to work to get to where she is. So that's why I believe Saturn is in her 10th house, because she really had to, you know, like go to auditions, get cut, be disappointed. When she dropped out of college, her mother like kicked her out, and she had to go like live in the dance studios. And you know, she spent her time there just working on bettering herself as a dancer. And then, you know, she got a call from this guy and that guy. But basically, Saturn in her 10th house, you know, made her work for her success, and then it sustained it. And it also being in Taurus, I think Jennifer is like one of the biggest beauty brands out there. She's very like sensual. So that Taurus public persona that she projects out to people is just, it fits well. That's one of the reasons I picked it.
Yeah, I did look into that too, to Saturn in the 10th house, and it also it can make sense to me too. You know, she didn't have a sorry, there's like some random dog. Grab the dog and you took him. I'm sorry. Anyway, I wouldn't do that. Anyway, no, I'm totally kidding. I love animals. Anyways, so Saturn in the 10th house. Um, yes, it can make sense because she didn't even release an album until she was 28. So she started as a dancer and then as an actress, and it's not like right away she got
Right.
this fame to where like, oh, the first movie she was in was such a hit, and she did suffer some like bad press, you know, for movies that she did, like Jiggly, Geely, Bojangle, Jiggly Dangling Dangling.
Whatever you want to
That
call it, the movie sucked.
yeah, I heard it was whack. And even some of her albums didn't really do as well after her first two, I believe. So, you know, she has had to work really, really hard. And I was reading on her childhood, her upbringing, and Saturn the 10th can make sense there too, because of the fact that she said she learned about her work ethics through her parents, that they were both really hard workers. Her mom worked two jobs, her dad worked the night shift. They worked really hard to send her and her sister to a really good Catholic school. And she said that she was a runner. That's the Mars and Sagittarius, you know. She was a runner in school, and she said she was always striving to get that brass ring, and she would always show up early to learn more about how to be the best in running. Same with dancing. She always wanted to be the best. So showing up early to things, that can definitely be a first house Aries type of thing. So if her sun were in the first house, Mercury there, yeah, that can make sense, you know. So Saturn in the 10th, wow, it's kind of hard for me to back down from, you know, the
The Libra rising perspective.
yeah, it was, but that makes sense. Libra rising would put her Saturn in the 7th house. And that can make some sense because she didn't actually get married until she was in her late 30s, I believe. So, and all her relationships have been monogamous from what she tells us and what she shows. They were always like not long term, but like yeah, monogamous, serious relationships. And she's not, even though she has Venus and Gemini, she doesn't really seem like, or what from what she gives off and shows us, doesn't really seem like the type of girl that's like, oh, I'm a player and this and that. It's like one steady guy. She wants that one guy, and she wants to live that fantasy life of, okay, we're gonna get married. That's why she was married twice, but she was engaged, you know, a couple times. Everything was serious, but yet
She was
it
married
didn't
three
really play
times.
out. Oh, three times. Okay, my bad. So much for my research, right? Anyway, just kidding. No, but her marriages didn't last, and marriage has been something that she's really worked hard, like strived for, but they just they didn't go into fruition, you know. They didn't cultivate and like grow and like stick, you know. So and it wasn't until later in life, yeah, like I said before, where she actually got married and there was some longevity there with Mark Antony. So Saturn the seventh, yeah, it could make sense because of that as well. But so it's kind of hard, you know, for my seventh house to decide which one is really legit.
Well, backing up that Mars and Sagittarius in the fifth house, but also like her Saturn is square her Sun and Mercury. This is sort of where like a square can become a good thing because it gives her like an inferiority complex where she thinks, oh, I'm not that good. You know, she doubts herself, but it also makes her like really competitive. So, you know, she'll work extra hard or like you said, like show up really early. She's willing to put in the work to succeed. So that's sort of where like a square can become a good thing. But yeah, that Mars in Sagittarius in the fifth house, so gives her that banging body. But also um like Mars is your willpower. It's where you want to like express yourself. And it being in the fifth house, she really wanted to like dive into the arts. She really wanted to express herself. That's where her drive was. You know, her drive was in the fifth house, which is of creativity and romance and, you know, children. She just really wanted to be able to put forth all her energy to expressing herself in a very creative way.
Yeah, I can totally, you know, I can see that. I can see how that would play out. And yeah, she is all about her kids. Like, she's very passionate about her kids. You know, her moon, if it is definitely in Scorpio, that's a very protective mother right there. You know, a very protective mom, who really is. I've seen her in interviews get really emotional when she talks about her kids. Leos really love kids. They're all about their kids, you know. And then the moon in Scorpio, that's like, oh my gosh, I would die for my kids, you know. Um, she does get really emotional about her children. And right now, it's like she really wanted that family. I know Leo is another sign that's about family too. Um, and she really wanted that perfect fairy tale family. Neptune next to her moon, right? She wanted like the husband and like the fairy tale life. She feels very disappointed, like she failed at giving her kids a family. So it's like Leos are they come off as being so confident. They shine like diamond in sky. They shine like the sun, but inside they can hold, you know this, Kajaya, inside they can hold like such insecurity that's like, am I really good enough? But then they put it out there like, oh yes, I am
Yeah, like,
grand.
my shit don't stink. Fuck you.
I am so grand and fabulous. I mean, look at me. I'm me.
You gotta keep them hater blockers on. You gotta keep them hater blockers on, all right?
Oh, I don't care if people hate. I mean, I'm me. Just let them. They're just jealous. Yeah, yeah.
Right, right. Fuck them. As long as I'm good, that's all that matters.
And I am. I'm rich. Yeah, but really, on the inside, you guys can really hold some like insecurities, like, am I really good enough? You know, but you can't really project that out there.
Oh no, because the royals gotta remain royals at all times.
Right, right, yeah, that's
Alright,
very.
another thing about her Mars and Sagittarius, it gets all positive aspects. There are no negative aspects to her Mars. It receives a trine from her Sun and Mercury. It's conjunct her Moon and Neptune, and there's a sextile from Uranus and Jupiter. So again, you know, your Mars is your drive, it's your willpower, and it's also a little bit, you know, your sense of self and how you assert yourself. So all those positive aspects to her Mars really, you know, I think that's added to that whole Leo rising persona because she has no problem asserting herself when she needs to. You know,
Yeah,
like
that's true.
like when she went to her damn, what was that audition? That Fly Girls to
In
audition
living,
for Fly Girls in Living Color. Like she was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna get this part. Like she said, she talked to her dad. It gives her like belief. You know, she's even though she has those squares from Saturn to her Sun and Mercury, her willpower, it's like nothing's touching it. You know, nothing is stopping her from going out there and saying, look, I can be the best. I can do this with no problem. You know, like when she dropped out of college to pursue a career in the arts, you know, she was like, you know what? I think this shit might work out. You know? So yeah, that's another thing that stood out to me, you know, all those positive aspects to her Mars. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, and the moon and Mars together. So if the moon is your inner mind, it's your emotional self, your subconscious, and then Mars is in conjunction with it, and Mars is your drive and your willpower. She just kind of jumps into stuff and with a lot of faith because Sagittarius is a sign that's all about faith. It's a fire sign, so they kind of jump into things with all this faith and optimism and
Mm.
believe that everything that they do is going to be all right, you know, like, hey, let's
Especially,
seize the moment, you know.
especially
So
with those trines from. I keep interrupting you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, it's cool, it's cool.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, so
especially. Oh, there I go again. All right, go ahead. I'm gonna shut up.
anyway, no, I was just gonna say, so she really does follow um her heart, and you know, her subconscious automatically acts upon things like her drive just goes, you know, like, dang it, now you made me lose my train of thought. Go ahead with your
I'm
trine.
sorry. I was just gonna say, you know, especially with those trines from her Sun and Mercury, basically. That's all I was gonna say. You're a genius. Keep it going.
I wish. Yeah, and she says it. That's that's something that kind of got her in trouble when it came to love and relationships. I think Moon and Mars together, and also Moon with Neptune all combined, she had this like dream and fantasy. Like she would connect with somebody and immediately think, "Oh my God, this is love. This is it." It'd be so dreamy with Neptune telling her moon this right here, and then Mars is right here telling her, yeah, let's just do it. Let's go for it. And she jump into these relationships really quickly and just be go, 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 and not really take a step back and look backwards to see what was really going on. You know, it turns out with Mark Anthony, she said they weren't really as compatible as she thought that they were. But she really tried hard to make it work, you know, in that relationship. And when it came time for her to have that famous Uranus opposite Uranus transit that happens to people around age 42-ish, that's when she got divorced. She said she started feeling this feeling in her that was like a surge of this like anxious, nervous energy all the time. And she's like, I don't know what's happening to me. I'm having these anxiety attacks and I don't know. And she said she just had the feeling come to her one day when she had one of those attacks on a set that maybe her relationship with her marriage wasn't she just had the realization that her marriage was just not working, and it has to end. And then what did she do? You know, she ended up getting divorced and dating a younger man. That's what a lot of people do during that Uranus opposite Uranus transit. They do something crazy. You know, they end up changing direction in their career, in their personal life, their social life, their married life. A lot of people get divorced at that time, and then they like buy a convertible and a toupee and start dating somebody younger. You know what I mean? So yeah, that happened to her too, and I don't remember how I got on that subject, but I just found it really interesting.
Yeah. No, but Uranus also, in an out of sign aspect, Uranus is also trying her Sun and Mercury because she's an early degree Leo, and her Uranus is
Right.
at wait, is it Uranus or Neptune? Neptune. Wait, what? She
Yo, man, where's your
no, she
notes?
receives no, she receives an aspect from both Uranus and Neptune. So I'm on it. I got this.
Her
You're still on
Uranus.
track. An out of
Her,
sign aspect, it trines her Sun and Mercury because she's an early degree Leo. So basically, with that aspect from Neptune, whatever Neptune touches, it sort of like water it down and makes it sort of like dreamy. So with that aspect to her Sun and Mercury, like sometimes in her mind things may make sense, or she's seeing things in her mind that is not actually the reality. You know, Neptune is all about that dream world. So she may want to, you know, in some of her relationships not believe it's over, or, you know, ignore all the problems and escape into her work and then come back and say, okay, maybe it's going to work this time. But, you know, that aspect from Neptune can sort of just like blind her vision to reality.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I looked it up, and she has Uranus sextile her sun, and Neptune is trine her sun. So, yeah.
So we on it. Both of these crazy fucking planets are fucking with her mind and her soul. Jennifer's fucked up.
She's crazy. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
she's crazy. But we love her anyways. We love her anyways. That's what I like about, you know, the Leo rising perspective. If you ever see Jennifer in an interview, she's like, you can ask me anything. You know, she's an open book. She'll tell you she likes being in a relationship. She wears her heart on her sleeve. She's like, here I am. You know, this is me. You know, I would get so annoying in all of her songs, like, I'm real. It's like every other song she used to release, I'm just so real. This is me. And I'm pretty sure it bothers her if people call her fake. You know, when people like spread lies.
She doesn't like for people to think she's a diva, okay? I mean, she has all the glamorous fur and sequins and all that Leo stuff and all the expensive name brands and the $1,000 face cream that was imported from France or somewhere, you know, and like Bentleys and all that stuff. But she's not a diva, though. She does not want people to think she's some controlling, demanding diva, okay? She's just strictly a plain old Puerto Rican girl from the Bronx, okay, who still loves hip-hop, okay? She still likes to do the Cabbage Patch, okay? So just don't think she's a diva.
Son, your eyebrows are on fleek tonight. Let me see them again. Eyebrows are sharp with the glasses. I was like, son, whoa.
I had to get right for J-Lo, okay? I had to look like J-Lo, all right? Okay. Now, anyways,
That's all I got. That's all I got. That's all I got.
all right, we'll try not to keep this too long, but the one thing that made me really lean towards a Libra ascendant, be like, I don't know, man, I just sense this Libra stuff. What I did just to kind of test out my abilities is I did not look up any charts. I just started watching like mad interviews, like a whole bunch of interviews, just to see what energies I pick up from her with my, you know, my Miss Cleo vision, okay? So I picked up Libra from her, and or seventh house or something like that. The reason why is because she always says she does not like to be alone. She can't stand to be alone, and because she goes from one relationship to the next very quickly, and her way of comfort and like healing from being getting out of a relationship and heartbreak is to run to the arms of another person. Like, she always has to be in relationships, and she'll admit to that too. Now, right now, at this point in her life, like currently in 2015, where she's at is she's trying out this being alone thing. You know, she's not with that young dude Casper anymore. Well, supposedly, she's single, supposedly, and like trying to learn how to love herself. That's what her book True Love was about. I did read it. It was all right, you know, of course, typical Leo and fifth house. There's all these pictures of her, all glamorous. There's some that are not so glamorous too, but there's like so many pictures in that book. I'm like, there's more pictures than words, lady. But anyway, I read it, and yeah, she will admit to a lot of those things. So she can't be alone. She has a hard time being alone, and to me, that sounds like a Libra thing. Totally sounds like a Libra thing. Either Libra or Pisces likes being alone, but sometimes they still like, you know, they can't stand to be alone for too long, like without someone, like especially a Pisces woman, they're like a damsel in distress, you know, they like that big like man to rescue them type of thing. And she says she likes men to be men. She's like, oh, I can't stand soft touch. Like, I like a man to just grab me. You know what I mean? No, she seriously said that.
Oh, rough ass.
Yes. That could be the Leo in her too, okay? Like, she has to have.
Come on, baby, growl for me, growl.
She needs some strength, okay, from a man. But yeah, but anyway, I picked up on some type of energy like that, like either Libra or Pisces. But if she's not a Libra ascendant, I would say that may possibly come from the Moon and Neptune, like dreaming of, being a damsel in distress and having that dream man rescue her all the time. You know what I mean? So, yeah, she has a hard time being alone and loving herself. That's something that she's trying to grasp a hold of right now, is loving herself and not trying to be someone for everybody else all the time. When I read that and when I heard her say that in interviews, I was really surprised, where she's like, oh, I'm too busy worried about everybody else and what they want from me, what they want me to be. I'm like, woman, aren't you a Leo? Hello. Like, you have your own mind. You should have high self-esteem. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, Saturn is squaring her sun in Mercury. She has an inferiority
Yeah.
complex, you know. When Saturn is in opposition or squaring something, that fucker hits you hard. And, you know, it's touching her sun and her Mercury, so her mind and her spirit is, you know, being crushed, being tested all the time, so could,
Yeah. And
could be
she
that.
also has Chiron trying her sun too. So, Chiron, in contact with the sun, can make her like suffer and go through self-esteem issues too. I did read and also hear in an interview her say that she was on the phone when she was in a relationship. She wouldn't specify which one. That might be her Scorpio moon, but she was in a relationship. She was on the phone with that man, and her assistant and some other lady saw her through a glass window on the phone, and the lady asked her assistant, "Does Jennifer have low self-esteem?" She was like, "What?" And then when the assistant told Jennifer later, she was like, oh, that is stupid. Oh my God. Me have low self-esteem? J-Lo? Girl,
Have you seen my movies? Please.
have you seen my outfits, honey? Have you seen my $1,000 face cream I buy? No, I don't have low self-esteem, but check it. That lady, the older lady, picked up on that from her. She's trying to like always just be something for someone else. So, and the Chiron thing, my bad. Oh, Venus is in Gemini. Woo, child, I can't think. So yeah, she suffered a lot, in relationships, and I kind of lost track. Man, Gemini. Woo. Anyway, yeah. So that was that.
That was that.
More?
Anything else you got?
Hmm. Well, I had a lot of things that I wrote down about her personal relationships, but this video is getting kind of long, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to have time to dive that deep. But I'll tell you what, like two of her husbands, or two of her men, former fiance, husband, whatever dude,
Flames, whatever.
her dudes, had the same birthday but different years, and they were both Leos. I think it was Ben Affleck and Ohani, whatever his name is. They were both Leos. Mark Anthony, he's a Virgo, but he has his sun conjunct Pluto, and I know she said he has this presence about him, like
He
a
also has
strong.
Mars in Leo.
Yes, and he has Mars in Leo too. So, and I scribbled a lot of stuff about her men, and now I can't read it. But anyway,
That's why I
yeah.
type everything. I
Netflix.
type. All my notes are typed up because I'll have
Oh,
ideas. I'll be jotting. That shit will be all over. I'm like, you know what? Let me just type this up.
well, I'm old. We used paper back in my day, son. Okay.
All right, so that's all I got. You got anything else?
Not that I can remember. If I remember anything else, I'll just type it in the comments below or something, like I usually do.
All right, well, that's our time. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Again, I'm going to put her link at the bottom of the video. If you're not subscribed to her channel, you should be. She's going to put some videos up soon.
Yes, and I know people have been asking, and I'm not trying to be a slow bull procrastinator or anything.
Bullshit.
Hey, don't even get me started, Aries Moon.
Hey, all right, go. I am so sorry for interrupting you while you were talking. Please continue. Please continue.
No, just, all I'm gonna say, because I am a Scorpio ascendant, is the transits of the last couple months have really hit home, literally. So I've had a lot of areas shift my priorities, but I still have some material lined up. I still have some ideas. I'm getting things together slowly but surely. Yes, I'm a Taurus, but really, I am gonna be working on some stuff. So please stay tuned. Bear with me.
When you get it, you're going to love it. Right? When they get it, they're going to love it. Stop smiling. Can you
Yeah.
hear me? All right. Okay. We're signing off. All right. Thanks again for watching. Comment below. Bye.
Oh man, it's cutting out a little bit.
It is. Can you see me?
Okay.
All right.